Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the nation at 5 p.m. IST on Sunday. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal to visit US on September 22nd to take forward trade deal talks. White House issues clarification to its new H-1B visa policy, says new fee applicable for fresh applications, not for existing holders. US President Trump issues stern warning to Afghanistan, says bad things going to happen if Bagram airbase not returned. And in Asia Cup, an unstoppable India all set to take on Pakistan in Super Force clash at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium on Sunday. All right, let's begin DD India Live with news just coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the nation at 5 p.m. IST on Sunday. However, there is no official word on the subject of his address in the evening. But you can watch live on DD India at 5 p.m. IST and stay tuned to get all the updates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the nation at 5 p.m. IST on Sunday. However, there is no official word on the subject of his address in the evening. But you can watch live on DD India at 5 p.m. IST and stay tuned to get all the updates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura on 22nd of September. During his day-long visit to the northeastern states, PM Modi will lay the foundation stone of multiple development projects in Arunachal Pradesh, harnessing the vast hydroelectric potential and promoting sustainable energy generation in the region. PM Modi will lay the foundation stone of two major hydropower projects in Itanagar. Both the hydroelectric projects will be developed in the Siom sub-basin of Arunachal Pradesh. PM Modi will also lay the foundation stone of a state-of-the-art convention centre at Tawang. The centre will serve as a landmark facility to host national and international conferences, cultural festivals and exhibitions. Prime Minister will also launch multiple key infrastructure projects catering to various sectors including connectivity, health, fire safety, working women hostels, among others. PM Modi will also interact with local taxpayers, traders and industry representatives to discuss the impact of the recent GST rate rationalization. PM Modi will later pay a visit to the northeastern state of Tripura. In line with his commitment to promote and preserve the spiritual and cultural heritage of India, Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the development work of Mata Tripura Sundari Temple Complex at Matawadi. It is one of the ancient 51 Shakti Peeths located in Udaipur town of Gomate district in Tripura. The project will play a significant role in boosting tourism, creating employment and business opportunities and leading to overall socio-economic development of the region. Empowering the youth of India has been a key priority of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. From overhauling the education policy to visionary reforms like Startup India, Skill India and opportunities in the creative economy, India's youth power is seen as a critical stakeholder in future of the nation.
India is driven by youth power. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recognized this untapped potential early and gave a new direction to the nation's youth. In the past 11 years, reforms and programs by the Modi government have empowered the youth at every level and in every sector. Skill India created new opportunities. Startup India gave new wings. National education policy expanded the horizon of learning, and Digital India ushered in global competitiveness. Education and skill development has witnessed revolutionary changes in India. National education policy has connected students to coding, AI, robotics, and out-of-the-box thinking. Skill India has imparted necessary skills to millions of youth and made them ready for jobs and self-employment. Over 1.6 crore youth have been trained in diverse skill sets. India's foray into the world of innovation and technology is today led by the dynamic startups. Indian youth is transitioning from being a job seeker to a job creator. There are over 150,000 startups in India today. These dynamic startups have created over 17 lakh jobs. Startup India has elevated India to the third largest startup ecosystem in the world.
We had been exploring drones much before, but the moment of clarity and conviction came in 2022, when our Prime Minister Modi ji spoke about his dream of making India the global drone hub by 2030. That inspiration gave birth to our company Drone Anatomy. We formally structured the company, raised investments and availed startup schemes, and began to scale with confidence. What truly enabled this journey was the ecosystem that had been built.
Phone, camera and internet have become the new tools of creativity and employment for the youth. Rise of orange economy or creative economy, where thousands of youngsters are gaining global recognition through YouTube, gaming and podcasting. Today, India is home to 2 to 2.5 million active digital creators. Special incubation centers have been created to promote digital talent in the AVGC sector. Platforms like Wave Summit connected India's digital talent to the world.
भारत सरकार द्वारा $1 अरब के
Government of India has introduced a $1 billion fund to help content creators with the right hardware, training and skill development so that content creators of today and future can take it up as a mainstream profession.
एक प्रोफेशन के रूप में देख पाएं.
Today, youth of India is playing an active role in nation building. They are equal stakeholders in its development journey. They have the tools, technology and the training to take India to its rightful place in the world.
A high-level delegation led by Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal will visit the United States on September 22nd to hold discussions on India-US trade deal. The delegation aims to advance ongoing trade negotiations and works towards the early conclusion of a mutually beneficial trade agreement between the two countries. The discussions expected to be focused on strengthening bilateral trade, investment and economic cooperation across all sectors. During the last visit of the team of officials from the Office of United States Trade Representative to India on 16th of September, positive discussions were held on various aspects of the trade deal and it was decided to intensify efforts in this regard. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to undertake a two-day official visit to Morocco from September 22nd. Sharing a post on X, the minister wrote, and I quote, "Tomorrow, 21st of September, I shall be in Morocco. There is a growing strategic convergence between India and Morocco. Looking forward to further strengthen the growing relationship. During my visit, I will hold a bilateral meeting with my counterpart, Abdelatif Loudiyi. A key highlight of the visit will be the inauguration of Tata Advanced Systems Maroc's new manufacturing facility for the wheeled armour platform 8x8 at Berished. This facility is the first ever Indian defence manufacturing plant in Africa, which marks an important milestone that reflects the growing global footprint of India's defence industry. I will also interact with the Indian community in Rabat." Unquote. Ties between India and Morocco have gained momentum since His Majesty King Mohammed VI meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015 in India. The upcoming visit is expected to add fresh energy to this partnership, particularly in the defense and strategic sectors. The mortal remains of beloved Assamese singer Zubeen Garg arrived in Assam early morning on Sunday. Thousands of fans in Guwahati joined a solemn procession honouring the music icon, whose remains are to be kept in the Arjun Bokeshwar Barwa Sports Complex for public tribute. Thousands have also gathered outside his home to pay their last respects. Marking the beginning of Durga Puja and Navratri celebrations, Mahalaya, also known as Mahalaya Amavasya, is being celebrated across India today. The day marks the end of the Pitru Paksh period, when Hindus pay homage to their ancestors, and marks the beginning of the homecoming of Goddess Durga. It signifies the transition from honouring ancestors to the festive period leading up to Durga Puja. One of the most significant rituals associated with Mahalaya is the painting of the eyes of Goddess Durga, which officially kickstarts the 9-day-long Durga Puja rituals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday wished the nation on the occasion of Mahalaya. Taking to X, PM Modi said, and I quote, "Wishing you all Shubho Mahalaya. As the sacred days of Durga Puja draw near, may our lives be filled with light and purpose. May the divine blessings of Ma Durga bring unwavering strength, lasting joy and wonderful health." India's space economy is taking off, targeting $44 billion by 2033, driven by startups, bold FDI reforms, state policies, and 1,000 crore rupees VC fund powering innovation and exports. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya with this report.
India's space economy is entering its most ambitious phase yet. Today, it stands at $8.4 billion, just 2% of the global share. But by 2033, the target is at $44 billion industry, with $11 billion coming from exports and a global market share up by 8%. The real engine of this growth? India's private sector. Nearly 350 startups are already innovating in satellites, launch services, and cutting-edge space technologies. To power this shift, the government has opened the skies wider than ever before, allowing 100% foreign direct investment in satellite components, 74% in satellite manufacturing, and 49% in launch vehicles and spaceports. This policy is designed to bring in global investors, technology, and collaborations. Backing this bold vision is the 1,000 crore venture capital fund under the InSpace, aimed at supporting startups across every stage of development. Similar to the space-focused VC funds in UK, Italy, Japan, and Saudi Arabia, India's fund places innovation at the heart of its strategy. And this push isn't limited to the center alone. States like Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Karnataka, and Maharashtra are drafting dedicated space policies to attract industries and investments, creating regional hubs for India's space economy. From government reforms to private entrepreneurship, from state policies to global partnership, India's space story is no longer just about reaching the stars. It's about building an economy that thrives on innovation, exports, and limitless possibilities.
International Day of Peace is observed every year on September 21, a day dedicated to strengthening the ideals of peace across nations. India, with its civilizational ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, has always played a leading role in the global quest for peace. From the days of the non-aligned movement to today's multilateral diplomacy, India has consistently championed dialogue over confrontation. In global crisis, from the Ukraine conflict to the humanitarian tragedy in Gaza, New Delhi has stood firm on the principle that peace cannot be achieved through violence, but only through dialogue and diplomacy. The world's largest democracy is also one of the largest contributor of troops to United Nations peacekeeping missions. Over 2 lakh Indian soldiers have served in UN operations across the globe. In 2007, India created history by deploying the world's first all-women contingent of police officers to Liberia, a symbol of empowerment and peacekeeping combined. Even today, over 5,000 blue helmets from India serve in various countries around the globe. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, India's role in shaping a peaceful world has only grown stronger. From calling for cessation of hostilities in Ukraine to delivering humanitarian aid in conflict zones to emphasizing dialogue in Gaza, India has emerged as a voice of reason, balance and compassion. This spirit was reflected in the New Delhi G20 declaration, where India brought together divergent voices on the Ukraine issue and emphasized the part of diplomacy. On this International Day of Peace, India's message resonates with Mahatma Gandhi's timeless philosophy of non-violence, that peace is not merely the absence of war, but the presence of justice, compassion and humanity. As the world grapples with conflicts and crisis, India continues to stand as a beacon of peace, reminding humanity that dialogue, cooperation and mutual respect are the only way forward for global peace and prosperity. Akshay Dongre's report for DD India. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Iran wants to suspend IAEA cooperation. What's happening at Busan International Film Festival, Asia's largest film festival? Stay tuned, we'll tell you. You're watching DD India Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Amid the confusion and panic caused by the new proclamation for H-1B visa, the White House has issued an official clarification on Saturday. In a social media post, White House press secretary clarified that the $100,000 fee will be a one-time payment imposed only on new applicants. She further wrote, those who already hold H-1B visas and are currently outside of the country right now will not be charged $100,000 to re-enter. H-1B visa holders can leave and re-enter the country to the same extent as they normally would. Whatever ability they have to do, that is not impacted by Friday's proclamation. White House press secretary also stated that the new rule applies only to new visas, not renewals, and not current visa holders. She said it will first apply in the next upcoming lottery cycle. The executive order, which is likely to face legal challenges, comes into force Sunday at 12:01 a.m. US Eastern Time, that's 4:01 GMT. And India's Ministry of External Affairs in a statement said that this measure is likely to have humanitarian consequences by way of the disruption caused for families. The official spokesperson in a statement said that the government has seen reports related to the proposed restrictions on the US H-1B visa program. The full implications of the measure are being studied by all concerned, including by Indian industry, which has already put out an initial analysis clarifying some perceptions related to the H-1B program. Industry in both India and the US has a stake in innovation and creativity and can be expected to consult on the best path forward. Skilled talent mobility and exchanges have contributed enormously to technology development, innovation, economic growth, competitiveness and wealth creation in the United States and India. Policymakers will therefore assess recent steps taking into account mutual benefits, which include strong people-to-people ties between the two countries. This measure is likely to have humanitarian consequences by way of the disruption caused for families. Government hopes that these disruptions can be addressed suitably by the US authorities. US President Donald Trump threatened Afghanistan if it does not give back control of the Bagram airbase to the United States. Trump, in a social media post, demanded that Afghanistan return control of the Bagram airbase to Washington, warning the Taliban government that bad things are going to happen if they did not comply with his demand.
Won't talk about that, but we're talking now to Afghanistan, and we want it back, and we want it back soon, right away. And if they don't do it, you're going to find out what I'm going to do.
Trump has repeatedly indicated that he would have kept control of the airbase given its strategic importance near the border between Afghanistan and China. A few days ago, during his visit to London, Trump stated that the US is trying to regain control of the airbase used by American forces following the attacks of September 11, 2001. He told reporters that he was speaking with Afghanistan about it. Bagram Air Base is currently under the control of the Taliban government after the US troops withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021. US President Donald Trump warned the Venezuelan government that it must accept the return of all prisoners whom he said Venezuela had forced into the US. Trump issued the threat in a post on his Truth Social platform. He did not elaborate on which prisoners he was referring to, except to say that some were people from mental institutions. He also did not specify what action he might take. Venezuela on Friday accused the United States of waging an undeclared war in the Caribbean and called for a UN probe of American strikes that have killed over a dozen alleged drug traffickers on boats in recent weeks. Washington has also deployed warships to international waters off Venezuela's coast, backed by F-35 fighters sent to Puerto Rico in what it calls an anti-drug operation. A man was fatally shot and several other people were wounded when a gunman opened fire at a New Hampshire country club in US on Saturday night. Police has detained a person of interest at the scene, according to Senior Assistant Attorney General Peter Hinckley. Nashua police confirmed that there was only one shooter after initially saying that two armed suspects had fled the scene and that one was at large. Now it's time for some updates from Busan International Film Festival 2025. India's creative economy is set to shine at Asia's prestigious Busan International Film Festival 2025 in South Korea. Showcasing its strongest ever lineup of films, India is also represented for the first time by a ministerial delegation led by MOS Dr. L. Murugan. At the Asian Contents and Film Market, the Bharat Pavilion was inaugurated on Saturday. And DD India's Jaya Sinha joins us from Busan. Hi Jaya, a very good afternoon. How's it going on at Asia's biggest film festival, Jaya? Anything special happening today?
Yes. Today is particularly significant for India because, as we know, that pavilion was inaugurated yesterday at the Asian Contents and Film Market, and this is the first time India has come up with a high-level ministerial delegation and a very strong lineup of films. The pavilion is buzzing with meetings, co-productions, discussions, and a strong India showcase of films, project, and creative talent. And later today, a panel discussion on India-Korea synergies and new horizons in co-production will also take place at Bexco, which is the venue here, and it will feature senior voices from both the countries, film industries. The focus is how India is giving a major push to co-production, offering subsidies and incentives to foreign filmmakers and investors, and actively promoting India as a world-class shooting destination. And talking about the screenings, we also should talk about that. So in the Vision Asia section, If on a Winter's Night, it's a film by directed by Sanju Surendran, which is an experimental storytelling blending, documentary and fiction. The film is also listed under Asian Cinema Fund under post-production fund category for 2025. That's one major screening at the Busan Film Festival today if we talk about Indian film screenings. And a lot of discussions happening, meetings happening, B2B meetings happening, and how we are promoting Indian films and how Indian films can be taken to world markets. That is also focused right here at the Bharat Pavilion.
All right, Jaya, we leave it there. Thank you so much. The highly anticipated rematch between India and Pakistan in the Men's T20 Asia Cup 2025 is just around the corner. The Super Fours clash will take place at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium on Sunday at 8 PM IST. Abhishek Mahajan reports from Dubai.
The iconic India-Pakistan rivalry is set to resume in the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup at the Dubai International Stadium on Sunday. However, much of the spotlight has been on events off the field, particularly involving match referee Andy Pycroft. But he will once again serve as the match referee in the India-Pakistan game. Despite the noise, Indian captain Surya Kumar Yadav reiterated that his teams remain fully focused on the game.
I feel our preparations have been really good leading into the tournament, and we had 3 good games also. So but we are actually focusing on what we can do best, and as I said on the toss as well, that we want to follow all the good habits which we've been doing in the last 2-3 games, and we'll take one game at a time.
He downplayed any suggestion that India holds an edge after beating Pakistan earlier in the tournament. The Indians were comfortable with experimenting in their final group stage game and came out victorious even as Oman ran them close with some positives in players getting game time out in the middle.
I think focus was always on the game in all the 3 games which we played. It was never changed from that, and I think everyone has got enough time in the middle with the ball, with the bat, going into Super 4s, and I'm sure two other teams who are also coming from other group will also be pumped up, and we are also excited to play them.
While Pakistan have made it through to the Super 4s, there are major causes for concern with their batting. They have failed to fire so far.
Alright, so it's a big one once again. India taking on Pakistan in the first match of the Super 4 encounter. Stakes are higher, pressure is greater, and another thriller is on the cards. With cameraman Kumar Datta, this is Abhishek Mahajan in Dubai for DD India.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on your screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.